people of Etheria love their princess Adora, who is gentle and good. But there are times when Princess Adora becomes She-Ra, Princess of Power, riding Swiftwind, her winged unicorn. Those are the times when she has magic powers to defend the country against the forces of evil, or simply to help someone in trouble. She-Ra, Princess of Power. Spirit is kidnapped. When the wicked Catra set out to cause mischief to the people of Etheria, she rode on Claudine. Claudine was swift, powerful, and silent as she carried Catra through field and forest. She appeared to have no equal. But Catra was not satisfied with her giant cat. She was jealous of Princess Adora and her beautiful horse, Spirit. Spirit was also swift, but he was clever as well. Adora had taught him to perform tricks. She had even trained him to dance on his hind legs. Catra at last decided that there was only one answer. She would have to capture Spirit for herself. Her mind made up, Catra sat down to plan how she would kidnap Spirit. It would have to be done with great cunning. Wherever Adora went in Etheria, she had friends. If Catra tried to capture Spirit openly, help would be on hand instantly. Catra looked from her tower as the sun set and shadows lengthened across Etheria.
That's it!
She cried.
I will seek the help of a witch, Shadow Weaver. With her dark magic, I cannot fail. And she will be as eager as I to bring pain and unhappiness to Adora by kidnapping her beloved horse.
Mounting Claudine, Catra set off into the night to seek Shadow Weaver. In a clearing, in the farthest depths of the Forest of Fear, Catra found the mistress of dark magic. Shadow Weaver laughed wickedly when she heard Catra's plan.
I like it,
she cried.
That meddling Adora and her friends have ruined my plans too many times. Now I shall have my revenge, and I have an idea of my own. Let us hold Spirit prisoner, with Adora herself as the ransom for his safe return. Queen Angela will be at our mercy if she knows that Adora is in our hands.
But how can we be sure that Adora will give herself up to save Spirit?
Asked Catra.
The foolish girl will do anything to save that horse,
said Shadow Weaver.
It will soon be midsummer. We will never have a better chance than then to kidnap Spirit. Claudine will have to help us.
It was Midsummer Day. All over Etheria, the people celebrated with games and feasting, music and dancing. As always, Princess Adora looked forward to the midsummer celebrations. She was going to be guest of honor at the fair in a village on the edge of Whispering Wood. There would be stalls and sideshows, food and drink, sport and games. Adora rode to the fair on Spirit. She mingled with the laughing, happy crowds of people who were glad to see her. The center of the village green had been kept clear for running, wrestling, archery, and other contests. After a while, the village band played a loud fanfare, and everyone knew that the contests were about to begin. They crowded around the open space, ready to cheer their favorites. First came the wrestling. Handsome young peasants puffed and panted and threw each other across the green turf. There were loud cheers for the winners and almost as loud cheers for the losers. The tug-of-war ended in roars of laughter when the rope broke, and both teams ended in a heap on the ground. There was another fanfare from the band. Now came the favorite item on the program. Led by Bo, the master archer, a company of foresters and hunters marched onto the village green to try their skill with bow and arrow. Targets were set up. And to Adora's delight, Bo was declared champion. The people cheered as Bo accepted his prize from the hand of Princess Adora. He thanked her, then held up his hand for silence.
I have a favor to ask,
he said. Bo turned to the princess.
Everyone has heard of your horse Spirit,
he said,
and there are many tales of the wonderful things he can do. May we see some of his tricks, Your Highness?
Gladly,
said Adora. And while the band played, Spirit danced in time to the music. Most of the crowd only had eyes for the performing horse, as everyone clapped and cheered. But Beau's sharp eyes had noticed something. A dark cloud moving steadily up the sky towards the sun. Surely the fair wasn't about to be spoiled by a storm. There wasn't a breath of wind. Yet still the cloud moved steadily across the blue until half of the sky was covered. Then Beau saw that it wasn't a storm cloud. It was shadow. A thick, dark shadow was moving over the countryside, shutting out the light. In another few moments, the village green was plunged into total darkness. As the darkness came down, people screamed. They ran in all directions. They bumped into one another. They fell over each other. And in the midst of the panic, Adora heard Spirit squeal in fright.
Over here, Spirit!
Cried Adora. She heard the hoofbeats of the terror-stricken horse, but she could see nothing. Then she heard a sinister sound. The evil laughter of Shadow Weaver. Another voice sounded out of the darkness.
Say goodbye to Spirit!
Called Catra. Claudine could find her way in the dark, and guided by Catra, seated on her back, she quickly found Spirit. Growling and snapping at the horse's heels, she drove him from the village green and into the forest. Slowly, the shadow passed over and faded away. The people picked themselves up and began to tidy the mess of overturned stalls. The band found their instruments where they had dropped them, but of Spirit there was not a trace. In a secret clearing deep in the forest of fear, Catra's servants had fenced in a space with stout logs. Here she brought Spirit. The gate was swung open. Claudine drove Spirit in. Then the gate was shut firmly. The gate clicked shut, and Catra leaped into the enclosure with her groom. As soon as the groom walked towards Spirit, he found himself flying through the air as Spirit lashed out with his hooves.
I see! I shall have to teach you manners!
Cried Catra. She picked up the whip dropped by the groom and cracked it in the air. Spirit leaped back at the sound. Catra cracked the whip again. This time, the lash flicked Spirit across the shoulder, and he squealed in pain.
Now!
Cried Catra.
Do as you are told, and you will not be hurt. Disobey, and you will be punished.
Catra sprang onto Spirit's back, and immediately he reared up, trying to throw her off. But Catra was an expert rider. Spirit reared and bucked, but no matter what he did, she stayed firm. Soon the horse was covered with sweat, but Catra gave him no rest. She dug in her heels and urged Spirit into a gallop round and round the small space. Whenever he showed signs of slowing down, she whipped him mercilessly. At last, Spirit could do no more. He stood, trembling with tiredness in the center of the enclosure, his head hanging. Catra leaped down.
Now, I think it's time to send for Princess Adora.
Meanwhile, Adora and her friends were making plans to rescue Spirit.
We can do nothing,
she said,
until we know where Catra has taken him. I want everyone who caught the smallest glimpse of Catra, Claudine, and Spirit to tell me exactly where and when. Beau, pass the word to all the woodsmen and hunters. They can tell the peasants and farmers.
And Cowl can tell the birds and animals,
said Beau. News came in quickly. On a large map of Etheria, Adora marked each report with a cross. Soon, the line of crosses stretched from the village where Spirit had been kidnapped to Whispering Wood. Beyond the wood, it crossed open country before ending on the edge of the Forest of Fear. Grey Wolf brought the final word of Spirit's prison. He had bravely followed the trail into the deadly forest. Keeping under cover, he had crept close and had seen Spirit on the other side of the log fence.